Do you ever have a situation where you have a lot of pretty pattern paper, but you may not have a lot of cardstock to go with it? Today I'm going to show you a way you can be using up maybe some of your extra pattern paper and you don't have to use as much of the cardstock.
Hi, this is Lisa Goodell, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe so you'll be notified every Friday evening when I release a new video.
So for this card, what we're going to do is it only is going to take a piece of solid color cardstock like this, just your normal 5.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. For this one, we're going to take 5 1/4, like you normally would. And then we're going to turn this here. Now normally you would cut this at 4 1/4, but this time we're going to move it a 1/2 inch more. So we're going to cut it at 4 3/4. Okay. Then you are also going to have this extra piece here. You might want to do another card while you're at it. Okay, and then the other thing that you want to do on this is you want to score this at 1/2 inch. Let me go like this. So I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way so I don't cut it on accident. Where's my 1/2 inch? There it is. And then I'm going to use my scoring blade to score it. Okay. And I got my bone folder back. So we're going to fold it down with the bone folder. Now we're going to take this and we're just going to put the cardstock like this. And then we're going to glue that down. And then what you're going to need to do is probably trim it just slightly, unless you want to leave this solid color over here. Just because when you take this and you fold it over, it's going to push the cardstock out. And so it's just easier to trim that when you're done. I'm going to get my silicone mat and my liquid, multi-purpose liquid glue, which is wonderful. And then what I'm going to do is just set this purple cardstock down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand it up so that it's going to be even up and down, and then I'm going to fold this over and I'll just hold it down just for a few seconds until it sticks. Doesn't take long for that to stick. Then you might want to just set this aside for a minute so it adheres better. And after that adheres good, you just want to look, make sure it's cut even. This one is off just so slightly. If you want to trim it, you can, or if you don't want to worry about it, you don't have to. So I can put this at 5 1/2, and I'll just go and, oh, I can't even really see if it cut anything off or not. And then to cut off this edge, if you don't want this, I'm going to go ahead and cut this as it's folded. I'm not going to open it up and cut it. And I'm just going to line it up the way it is mostly. And it might be a little bit off, but it's not going to be bad. So yeah, so I just took off a little bit there. Okay, so then at this point, you can do whatever you want with this. It has this cute pattern on the inside, and it has this on the outside. So what I'm going to do now is I have a card like this, and I did make a card like this. So basically what you do with the press and seal is, for example, what I'm doing today is I'm, trying to arrange my flowers, how I want them to be on the page, and let's just do this for a quick example. Thank you to Randi Malone, who left a comment on one of my other videos telling me that I should try this because it will make things a lot faster when you're trying to arrange a bunch of flowers together and then trying to glue them down with dimensionals, which is what I was doing in last week's video. Then you're going to take the press and seal, which is kind of like saran wrap, cling wrap. This is way too big a piece. But when you touch it just like this, it doesn't feel all that sticky, but it becomes sticky when you press it down. That's why it's press and seal. So what you would do is say that's the arrangement that I want. Then I would just very carefully put this down and press it. And when you press it, the pressure makes it stick to whatever it's sticking to. And so you can see how simple that is. And now this kind of stays together. And so then on the back side, what I did is I just flipped it over. I took away any like solid background paper that I had been putting it on, and then I used dimensionals to connect it and put it together. But in editing my video, I got to thinking, I think it would be way easier to maybe use some cellophane tape to get the main pieces connected and then add your dimensionals. I did not do that in the upcoming video, but that's just something I thought about afterwards. So you might want to try that. And then let's say I have the dimensionals on, then I would just put it onto, you know, the cardstock, whatever it's going to be on. And then this is the tricky part. You need to pull it off very, very slowly, because in the video you might see at one point it tore a little tiny bit of the green leaf. And so you don't want to pull it off too fast. But what I did for the green leaf, I was able to fix it because it didn't tear off completely. And I just took a little tiny bit of my, the liquid glue, and I just tapped it and put it back down. And I don't think you could even tell that that had happened. So, and then this would all be glued on there the way you want it.
So now I'll turn up the music and let you watch the rest of the video. Don't fast forward through the video too much, because throughout I'm going to be popping up some pictures of a bunch of other cards that I have made using this same technique, but using different stamp sets and DSP pattern paper. Be sure to check out the description for measurements and a supply list. And finally, leave a comment if you have any questions, or let me know what your experience is with the press and seal. Thanks for watching.